Nick speaking, and welcome to this video on how to magnetize the Ghost Ark stroke Annihilation barge. Okay, so I know there's obviously lots of other tutorials out there, but hopefully this one might offer you something a little bit different. So my two criteria that I've got for this is that A, I want the spines to actually rotate round, because I just prefer basically to have a Doomsday Ark with it upside down. I know there's an easy conversion, just magnetise the big gun on the top of the Ghost Ark, but I really want to basically have the spines going down. And not only that, but when the spines are in the down position, which I've seen other people do, but what they tend to do is leave the Gauss Flayers exactly as they are, so basically they're upside down, which I just don't want that. So I'm going to magnetise the Gauss Flayers as well, so they're the right way up. Not only just for that reason, but also if I get weapon destroyed, I can just take the Gauss Flayers off, and obviously it indicates that they're no longer there. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Now the first thing, per the instructions, is you build this back section. Basically, I haven't glued everything together of mine purely for painting purposes. So glue as much on as you think that you can glue on without having to worry about painting it. Personally, I've left these side pieces off, and I've left the man section out. So that's my one. So that's the first step to do. I would then recommend, once you've done that, that you basically get all of the bits and you scrape them all down. So that's what I've done here. I've scraped down everything that I can, and the bits that I'm not going to magnetise, I basically glued together. So I've glued the big gun together, for example, there, and these spines. So first stage is going to be the front of the ship. So I haven't magnetised, I've built this section. I'm going to magnetise this. So we're going to magnetise that onto the spine. Okay, so here we go. So we've got our bits ready. What I'm going to do is I've made some grey stuff up, and I'm basically going to put some in here, and then I'm going to put my magnet in. I'm using 5 by 1mm magnets for this. So yeah, a bit of green stuff in there, super glue, push the magnet in. Right, there you go. So I put in some green stuff and the magnet into there. And what I do for my magnets, I've got this little magnet topper. It's got little magnets on there, so I know exactly which way my magnets are going. So yeah, so that's that piece done. I'm now going to just basically put a piece of green stuff in here. I'll leave this open as opposed to joining them all together to do this, because it's going to be easier to get the green stuff in. Okay, so that's all done then. So the green stuff in there with the magnet on, and got my front section here. So yeah, magnetizes on there quite nicely, which is brilliant. So now I'm going to repeat this process on another spine, ready for the back section. Right, so now I've moved on to the back section, and I repeated the same here. Basically, I've put the green stuff in, put a magnet, although this time I've done 2 magnets, because this is going to be a bit, needs to be a bit more sturdier. Basically, it's a big area. And then on this piece, what I've done is put some green stuff in, and I've then glued 2 magnets again in onto the green stuff, keeping both of these sections nice and flush. So now, yeah, if I want Ghost Ark, it goes like so, and if I want the Doomsday Ark, it goes like so. Brilliant. So now I'm going to move on to the Gauss Flyer arrays. So yeah, currently the Gauss Flyers, basically you put these together, and this little section here goes in between here. Just do that. Right, there you go. And the Gauss Flyer itself actually attaches to that. So let me just get a flyer. There we go. So you'd glue it like that basically in there. Now I have noticed that when this section here is going to be glued, this piece here does actually rotate up and down. I mean, you're even going to be able to just push this out slightly just to get a bit of extra movement. So that's going to be the basis for me to have guns which move from one way to the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this section off here, make it flat, and that's where I'm going to put a magnet, so I'm going to do that now. There you go. It does leave a tiny little like recess section, but that's fine because we can put some green stuff in there before we put the magnet on. And then on the Gauss Flyer itself, where it would normally attach to this section, I'm going to basically cut that off there. I'm going to trim that down, well not trim it, I'm going to basically file both of those down so they're flat, and then I'm going to add a magnet to each one. Right, there you go, so magnet on there and a magnet on there. Now these are 0.5 by 3mm magnets, which I use for lots of my other conversions. I'll put a link in the description to where maybe you can get some magnets from, but it works perfectly. So hopefully now we should be able to put this in here. Like so, and magnetize it that way for the Ghost Ark. It's obviously going to be movable, and then move it up, and then in the up position we can do it the opposite way round for the Doomsday Ark. Excellent, so really happy with that. So now I need to magnetize all of these Gauss Flyers, and then I can start to glue this together. Right, so there you go, so I put magnets on all of these pieces now, so they're all magnetising quite nicely. And before I glue all the spines together and everything, I'm going to continue with the magnetising bits. So next it's going to be the big gun. Right, okay, so now we're on to the big gun, and effectively this big gun's got to go onto there. So like previously, we're going to put a magnet, well hopefully 2 magnets if the depths are not too much, in there, and that's going to be the first starting point, and then we'll probably end up having to put a little magnet at the top as well, just to hold it in the upper position. Right, there you go, so I glued the magnets into the base of the gun. Only one magnet really was allowed in there because of the depth, but it's absolutely fine, it's pretty strong actually. There you go, no problems there. Plus we're going to put a magnet here for the top section. So I'm going to put the spines on and then do this magnet, but before that I'm going to go back to this section here, the original cap. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put a magnet in the bottom of here so that it magnetises onto this one. That's one magnet glued into there, and magnetises quite nicely onto there. Okay, so I've got the spines built now, and this mechanism here is working perfectly. These just rotate round perfect. One little note here, when you glue it together, it would be best to glue these sections in before you do anything, because obviously you don't want any surplus glue going into here and then gluing that. So just a word of warning there to do that. And that now will go straight onto here, so no problems at all, and obviously that will come upside down and will magnetise onto there. There you go, brilliant. So next is to, oh yeah, I put the little thrusters on as well, obviously for this, the flying stand to go on. And the very last thing is to, I'm going to pop a magnet just in the centre here, and then on the big gun, on this assembly, I'm just going to put a magnet onto there. So going to cut off that section. There you go. file that down, put little magnets on. I'm not going to do the two little side twirly bits that come up because they're just going to be really awkward. So just going to keep this piece here so that when it's on here, it will basically magnetise both on the top and at the back. Okay, so I'm going to do that now, and then I'm going to put them all together. Okay, so what I did, put my original magnet on there, but actually it wasn't deep enough. So what I had to do is put a smaller 2 by 1mm magnet on top of that magnet, glued that on, and then I put one of those 2 by 1mm magnets just in there. So now it's got a nice fit. It goes in into the recess, magnetises on, and yeah, it's a really good fit. So now I'm going to put these together and let you have a look at them all finished up. Alright, there you go, so that's the Doomsday Ark all built and done. All I have to do is obviously put this section in that I've left off for painting. Very happy with how it's come out. Now I know quite a few people have been talking about the Gauss Flyer and cutting off the blade because it sort of doesn't really work on this model, and I can understand that, you know, why people might do that, but I don't know, I sort of quite like the blades on there and the way they look. And I was thinking this, now maybe the main driver in there, if he staggered those flyers like so, and then he had the controller to actually rotate these blades like so, so all the blades were basically like pushing forward, then effectively he could fly past like a group of men and try and like chop off all their heads and stuff, you know, like shred them to bits with the blades as it's flying past. So yeah, I sort of can see that they would actually work. And obviously if they just go up and down, then they're absolutely useless. I mean, you're going to bop a marine on the head or something. But if the controller can actually like press a button and they set up in an array with different angles, and then all the blades turn round forward, you know, it gives you the option. So from that standpoint, that's how I'm going to look at it. So I'm going to keep them like that. Right, now onto the Ghost Ark. I'm going to put it into the Ghost Ark side, and we'll have a quick chat about the Warriors. Right, so there's the Ghost Ark version. Now, you can either just keep it like that, which will give the option to put your a few Warriors and a Cryptic maybe in here, you know, the actual models, so you know which unit goes into which. Or you can get your Warriors and the ones that are supplied and make them up and magnetise them, which is what I've done. So what I did, the little stem that was on there, where normally it would push inside the hole on the Ark, I just basically clipped that off, again green stuff and the 5 by 1 magnets, just there. And then where the Warriors go, hopefully you can see this, there you go, I put those magnets there. So again, green stuff, super glue, put the magnets on. So now the Warriors will actually magnetise on there as well. It's a very nice fitting, and does the job very nicely. So yeah, I'll just pop those in so you have one final look. Right, there you go. So that's the Warriors now all magnetised in there. Looking pretty sweet, I think. I'm very happy with that. So there you go. Hopefully that was useful to you. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and thanks for watching.